In the current conditions, both supporters and opponents, or the beginning of peace negotiations between Ukraine and Russia, hope for one thing: an end to the war. However, it is hardly possible to count on long-term peace and sustainable security in Europe when concluding a deal with Moscow on its terms, experts say.
This would be a fundamental violation of international law, and this could give Russia itself and other revanchist countries the impression that the West is ready to agree to such a truce, to such a deal, and that is impossible in the future to do what Russia has been engaged in the last 9 years, that is, changing the borders and then entering into some kind of negotiations, ultimately obtaining an expansion of its territory.
The analyst notes that the issue of the so-called bad peace arose amid the statements about Russia's prolongation of the war against Ukraine, Putin's nuclear threats, and also not-so-quick results of the Ukrainian counteroffensive.
Well, the biggest factor, and of course Moscow is playing with this, is the fear of expanding the war into World War III, a nuclear war, and of course also economic interests, war weariness, and, well, just wanting the war to end. And also, probably the fact that it is when this kind of deal is offered. After all, we are not talking about Russia's own territory, but about the territory of Ukraine. And there, as it seems, everything is not so difficult.
Analysts know that the collective West has already made a similar mistake several times, relying on the pacification of the Russian aggressor in Transnistria, Abkhazia, South Ossetia and Donbass. Each time Putin pushed through the solution he needed with threats of escalation, demonstrated inability to negotiate, and impunity led to the fact that Russia's predatory appetite only grew.
It seems to me that the Putin regime cannot be trusted at all. The Putin regime will deceive you several times and do it in its own way, which Putin has already confirmed by his behavior. Therefore, if you ask whether it is possible to trust Putin, I will tell you unequivocally, no. In no case can you trust Putin, because he will sign a peace agreement, then will turn into just a truce and not peace. And then he'll start a new aggression. And here Putin simply has no other options. For him, war and aggression are the basis for maintaining power.
According to Russian opposition politician Dmitry Gudkov, the best way to end this war would be a crushing military defeat for Russia.
Another option is a nomenclature coup in Russia. This is when the elites somehow remove Putin. This can happen, theoretically, because so many are unhappy with what is happening. Moreover, you need to understand that this demonstrative execution of Prigozhin leads many to think that Putin went completely cuckoo. That is, becomes dangerous like a monkey with a grenade, because everyone has already associated themselves with this downed plane.
The cessation of hostilities, the withdrawal of Russian troops from the territory of Ukraine and the punishment of Russian war criminals, these are the Ukrainian authorities' starting conditions for starting peace negotiations with Russia.
I don't know what kind of agreements they are talking about some kind of exchange of something for our territories. We have one document, we have the peace formula, we have one desire, peace. We have formulated it as we see it. We are ready for an open discussion with colleagues. The more the better for the world to be on the same side, on the side of a just peace with the full restoration of the territorial integrity of Ukraine.
The outcome of Russia's war against Ukraine will have an extremely large impact on the global security architecture. Experts know that it is the victory of Ukraine, ensuring its independence, territorial integrity and sovereignty, that will be able to strengthen the security system, as well as reduce the likelihood of aggressive wars in the future. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Vasil Panasiuk, UATV News.